Okay, so today is September 3rd. The summer is over, and then the market is in serious minus today. 6 o'clock, and I'm going to talk today about trend prediction engine. We've been developing this neural network for quite some time, been testing for quite some time, and really works. You're going to see the results. My name is Sergey Savastyuk. I have a PhD in applied mathematics. I used to teach at Santa Clara University, and then I moved here in Silicon Valley to the high tech, started a few companies. Now I'm at Tickeron. And really, all my knowledge about the artificial intelligence and the game theory is here, as you can see in the core of Tickeron, around the natural language generation technology. There's a lot of interesting stuff. Okay. Brief disclaimer about what I'm going to talk, and it's quite different what you're going to hear at other presentations, because Tickeron is a SEC registered company. So what it means we cannot even tell you bullshit. Okay? There are some companies which are not registered at the SEC. They can do whatever they want, but if they cross the line, they can be sued. So for instance, Online Trading Academy been sued by Federal Trade Commission for what? For misleading, as you can see, misleading consumers and all kinds of stuff while they were selling trading courses for $50,000. Okay? So what you have to know as a tip number one, how to find out if the company is SEC registered. You can go to the website and then find this form called the DV Part 2, which says that this company is SEC registered. And according to the guidelines of a Security Exchange Commission, we cannot tell you anything which is untrue. Okay? We cannot guarantee anything, but we cannot mislead you in any way. Where you can find it? You can find it, like example with the Betterment, Form ADV Part 2, that means this company is SEC registered. So all the disclaimers you can find there, but you're in safe hands, in fact. So why you're here? Because you're interested in algorithms, and you also kind of understand that quite a lot of trades being made these days by computers. Some people say 90%, some people 75%. And if you don't have any piece of a technology, then you kind of can get screwed, and then you really don't know what's going on. So I'm going to help you, and our company is for the people like you, for the retail investors who want to learn, but at the same time have a lot of things being pre-computed, and you are going to see what is the difference between us and any other company. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to talk today about trends. But first thing, I'm going to have to cover some basics about trading plan. Then I will tell you how we understand the odds of success. And that's pretty much results of the backtesting, and then how we present them. Then I will tell you about our proprietary angle on a lot of things, which is the group trends. Okay. So then I will show you how you can use it with our free signals. Then I will cover interesting, just one chapter in the AI screener. It's a trends, the group trends in the AI screener. And then I will most of the time talk about trend prediction engine. We call it TPE. Okay. So now, first thing about the trading plan, I'm going to briefly talk about that, but I'm going to use that terminology. You're going to see this type of pictures later in a presentation and a demo. Here, like 4 major ways you can have a mental model how you're going to trade. So for instance, trend goes up, and then you bet on the fact that trend is going to continue. then you might trade on a dip. Like for instance, some people are gonna think today is a dip, stock goes up, dip, and then you bet on the fact it's gonna go up. Trading on the breakouts, you really wait until the price crosses a particular price line. Okay, here is no specific number, here's a specific number, and then you continue to trade up. This is a trade reversal where you think it's going to go down and then it's going to go up. My experience is that most of beginners trying to find this particular point, and then finding this point they think is going to guarantee them they're going to make most of the money, and that's where they lose most of the money. Why? Because typically if it goes down, it's going to continue down. If it goes down with a little bit dip, it's going to go down. So quite a lot of cases when it is not a good idea to find the trend reversals. And I strongly recommend not to try to find it. Don't try to find a place where you're going to make most of the money. Try to find the trend where you're going to make the money. Okay, so tip of the day number 2, what is a good way to lose money is to try to find trade reversal. So my first recommendation, try not to find it, okay? Now, second point, what is the odds of success? What we do at Tickeron versus all other companies is that if you have a particular trade idea, then we test it overnight, and then when you get our idea, then it is already pre-tested. We do not give any signals which were not pre-tested, and then we do not ask you to do the backtesting, because typically the software I used before Tickeron, you kind of do it like that. You come up with a strategy, then you do the backtesting. It means you're gonna go back to the history, find the similar cases. Let's say it's similar case success, similar case it's a failure, similar case success and success. So 3 out of 4, it's odds of success 75%. Kind of very simplistic formula of understanding what happened in the past. We call it odds of success, and you're going to see quite a lot of data, millions of calculations overnight, and some products it's instant calculation presented to you without any extra efforts. Okay, so what is the backtesting for Tickeron? It is the odds of success, which is a percentage of outcomes which confirm successful trade signal in the past. Okay, that's the important thing. Now, about trends, I found that the best presentation of trends in the winter sports called half pipe. One guy is the same guy, kind of on the skis, on the board, goes left and right. And then when it's enough of inertia, then it flies, makes all kinds of interesting movements and goes back, okay? So when we want to trade, then we really don't want to trade here, don't want to trade here. We want to trade only when we have enough of inertia and we know we're going to fly. If we know we're not going to fly, we don't trade. So what it means? It means that our company provides forecasting for a relatively short period of times, like a week, about a month, and then trying to find these flying opportunities. As soon as you make money, you're going to go back. Okay. So with the trend trading, what happens? With the trend traders, what you do, the security should be moving upward in general, right? In order to make a long position, and then a short position when security in general moves downward. Okay? That's the basic, and it's been known, and you've seen that quite a lot. What you've not seen, and that's what we use here, is the group analysis. Okay. For instance, like today, if you look at the market, then you've seen that the market went down quite significantly. And Why? Because quite a lot of stocks moved down. And in fact, maybe some people had plans to buy, but because stock moved down, they decided not to buy. Why? Because there is like a herd mentality. If everyone goes down, be careful, don't buy. So here, if like some signal from the, let's say, right, the entire herd is going to move to this direction. Here, somewhat danger moves to that direction. So if you right in the middle, if you have a stock right in the middle, then if you know either very big crowd, big herd, or small, then your chances of success are going to go higher if you analyze these groups. Okay, that's what is important. And then I kind of understood that years before, but I never had computing capabilities to verify that on the fly. So what here at Tickeron, what we do, we're helping traders to get that data pretty much with one click. And I will show you how to do that. And that's the one of the feature nobody really looking at. And then we have enough of a computing power. We have thousands of computers running, and they're calculating what are the groups, how to find them, how to name them, and what's going on with them. And I will show you where you can find the groups and get this analysis. Okay, so that means there is a concept of a group trade trading, right? The same thing. You should be sticking with the group. If you don't check what's going on with the group, you can get screwed. And that's the tip number 5. Okay. So let me show you what happens when you in a, I would say, wrong group. What it means you did not look at this, and then you could have ended up in this group when 170,000 Robinhood traders got stuck with the horse stock. Okay, this stock was going down. Our data was showing down. All rental car groups going down, but 170,000 bought this in June and got stuck there. Okay, so don't get there. Do the analysis. Use our software before you buy, and then you're going to be able to be in a good shape. Okay. So now let's look at where we are. Okay, let me give you a brief rundown where you can find some hints of trends. Okay, so this is the first page after login to our system, and then immediately what you see on the right, some trends. What you see here, technology. You see loss for the day is about 6%. Right? At the same time, energy kind of went up a little bit. Why? Because it was beaten up. There was maybe nothing to beat anymore, and it moved up a little bit, right? Here on the top, you see what happened today. NASDAQ minus 5%, S&P 500 minus 3.5%, almost 3. So in order to get more data, what you do, you kind of here, click on more, okay? And then you're gonna get page where you're gonna be able to see what's going on with either major indices or inverse ETFs. You see some people on inverse ETFs made 15% today, okay? Commodities went down, okay? So that means it's kind of an idea of what's going on. People moved their money to the bonds. International markets overall moved down, okay? Dividend currencies, cryptocurrencies moved up today. So let me see further. Again, from the first page, let's look at the international overview. As you can see, America went down, only Australia went up. Okay, so you already have a quick picture of what's going on with the global trends. If you want to dig deeper, and see what is in between in energy and technology, you can click here, view more, and you're gonna get a page where you're gonna be able to see what's happening either by sectors, you see health, real estate, or by gains, and that way you see what's going on right here and the technology on the very bottom, and there is something in the middle, and then you see the overall trends. Okay, this is a very first glance to understand the crowd. And is that enough? No, from my perspective, it's not enough. And I will tell you what's going on deeper, and I will show you how to deal with that. Okay, so now, as a matter of introduction, as you can see here, we have free trade signals. We have a lot of these free trade signals, and they are separate from each other. They are not accumulated by AI. They are not absorbed into one kind of a result, but it gives some educational material. Plus, you can get ideas and you can get the free signals. If you don't know what a MACD signal is, you click here about MACD, and then you read how it works right in every single signal which is being described here. And then, as you can see now, you understand. Here's a signal, 86% odds of uptrend, right? Odds of success. And if we would have had a signal with less than, let's say, 50-something%, we would have not presented here, okay? How we calculated that? We calculated out of the historical results. So look, we found what? 44 similar cases, and 38 of them led to the positive direction, okay? So this is a brief overview of this calculation, but if you want to read more, like similar to like Facebook, you click here, and then what you see is the really long article about what happens with this particular company, some technical analysis and bullish trend analysis, bearish trend analysis, fundamental analysis, where we develop our own proprietary ratings, then industry description and analysis, and it's all just done with one click, okay? So you can click on them and see what's going on. But then what is interesting, you will see that here are some hashtags. That's where you can collect different groups and still get an opinion what's going on with the quarterly results, some small caps, which because it looks like a small cap, or casino and gaming industries. You can click on one of them and click search, okay? So that way you group it, and then even though there was one stock with one signal, now you see what's going on with the entire group, right? So look, it's a report with one click. I created for you a report, casino and gaming, outlook analysis for all tickers. How many of them? 19, okay? And it looks like it's kind of picking up, even though some of them going up, some of them are going down, but overall the projection is somewhat going up, okay? Then what you can do is to narrow that down. Let's see, if it is some hashtags, you can narrow that down, that report with a particular hashtag. Let's say you like to trade only with moving averages. Let's see, I'm gonna click here. You see this hashtag now, only moving averages. So that means all signals which are gonna be right here selected are gonna be moving averages. So if you like to trade only moving averages, then here's the group. You see what kind of a group I created. Trade signals and outlook analysis of the casino gaming industry based on moving averages only, okay? So that way I created a group, a specific group, which is designed to kind of create that herd, right? You see, it's kind of one way of a creation. We have several ways of doing that, and I'll show you all kinds of ways to do it here, okay? Let me see where we are. Yeah, it's moving averages, okay? So you can continue to narrow that down. So how many do we have? I already have 8, okay? So then you're gonna say, okay, then what to do with this 8? Then the trick of our site is to move it anywhere you want. So when you see this blue bar, you can move all these stocks, 8 stocks, to pretty much anywhere. You can move it to screener and look them as a group. You can look to the like intraday scanner, which is gonna showing you intraday pricing and intraday analysis. Okay, you can look to the scorecard, which is summarizing overall, and you can move it to the trend prediction engine, which we're going to be talking about. Okay, just with one click, I'm moving these 8 tickers to analyze to our premium product. You see all 8 right here. And now you can recognize them, Las Vegas, MJM, Win Industries, right? All of them are here, okay? And the first glance is that it gets to the instant search, and where you're going to be able to look at our AI premium product, and then you can sort that. How? Okay, so you click on, let's say, buy. What we are showing here as a confidence of the price of moving up, okay, and then the result is the target price is not reached. Odds of success 83%. Okay, so as you can see, what is important not to forget this one. When you forget, then you see whatever 8 of them. But if your minimum confidence level is 60, then with the 60 you see only this one going up and these ones are going down. What you do always in this type of tool, you can move the bar to the some confidence, let's say 50% of confidence, right? It could be here. So you're going to see how many of them are moving up and some of them are moving down. So how many? I have 3 down and this is up. Okay, so this is the first cut to the trend prediction engine. So what is the trend prediction engine? Is a tool which being trained with a neural network to look at the trends and then continuation of these trends. Every night, it takes end of day data and then computes and teaches the neural network what happened in the past, what's going to happen in the future, and then calculates the confidence level. Okay. So if I want to sort it by cell, I click it here, then I'm going to get these ones. Okay. So we're going to get back to this tool. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you one more point where you can start looking at the group trends. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you one trick in the screener, which is quite sophisticated because nobody is doing that. I've not seen a single screener which do that. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click here on the group trends. Okay. And group trends is such a thing which has industries, themes, and indices. I can analyze pretty much anything. Industries are quite large. That's what you can see in some other softwares. And it's good. You can analyze them. But what is good about our approach, we split it into smaller groups. For instance, if I click here, one day change, you see this is the change of these small groups, 9 stocks, 20 stocks, 9 stocks. These are not industries. These are small groups of stocks, which let's say about optical industry, some manufacturing, cybersecurity. You see how much they lost in one day. This is analysis and data 1 week, 1 month, quarter, 6 months, and 1 year. What is good about this table that for each small group, right? Because you cannot make a conclusion based on 300 positions in the industry. You can click here and find, let's say, okay, there are some groups still buy, right? And then like one of the example of buy, it was strong buy yesterday, today was adjusted. Let's say brokerage firms. Why brokerage firms really doing well? Because a lot of people like you are trading, and for brokerage firms, it doesn't matter where the market moves. What matters, people are trading, and that way there is activity. That means orders being filled. The more orders filled, the more the money they make. Okay, so it's kind of a interesting opportunity to get the recommendation for the entire group. If you want to find what is a strong sell, then you can find that too, okay? So how many groups do we have? We have 477 groups with the stocks minimum 5. We have other smaller groups, but I made the setup just 5, okay? So if you click here one day, then you're going to be surprised that some of the stocks made what? They were positive, even though the market was negative. Let's look at this. It's only 5 stocks, okay? So how you can look inside? You click here, and again, every time you select something, you look at this blue bar. And you can move it, again, pretty much anywhere you want. You can even click here on the clipboard, right? So what it means on the clipboard, it means I can, let me try to do that. I'm gonna go to chat with you guys, and I just drop it here, okay? So you see with the clipboard, you can really extract that data and use anywhere you want, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna look to the scanner. Scanner is a different animal than screener. It looks and analyzes stocks intraday. And that's useful tool only inside of the trading hours, okay? So as you can see, one day change, they're pretty much all positive except one, Estee Lauder, but it's still kind of 1%. Why do you think it happens? Well, maybe because the industry is being opened, right? More people are going to go to the malls, and there is anticipation that it's going to go up, right? It's been going down. This one, Estee Lauder, already doing well. Others not so well as Estee Lauder. Then explains why there was some adjustments. But overall, that group is kind of a potential on a trend reversal, even though I told you it is not a good idea, but at least it's a hint to look at that, right? So what you can do, you can move it to pretty much anywhere. One way to move it, let's say to the paper trade, okay? So what I can do, I can move it to the paper trade and then record it, and then you guys can play it as if it's really your brokerage, and you can test that system, our system, without really involving any money. Or you can move again to the trend prediction engine and then see what are the trends for these stocks. You see it's preset 60, I kind of move it, okay? Yes, some of them are positive, some of them are negative on a week prediction, and there is a month. Okay, let's look on the month. It's still predicting down, so that means there is no trend reversal, and it's a little bit too early to get in. Why I'm not kind of eager to jump in, even though there are some positive signs? Because as I showed you that we are not buying here, we're not even buying here, we're not even buying here, we're buying right somewhere here. That means not enough of the inertia to increase odds of our success, and that means it's too early to use it, okay? But the mechanism is quite interesting, okay? So let me show you, okay, I'm here. here, right? Yeah. So now the question is, can I generate a report for all this? Yes, I can move here to the signals. Okay. So again, I'm taking this and moving to the report, which I already showed you, right? So that means I can move from report to the screener, from screener to the report using this blue bar everywhere. And you can see even the group analysis showed that the group is not yet really kind of picking up, even though there is some movement. What that graph shows is that advanced versus decliners, and there's a group highlights. So there's analysis of what's going on with the group and some fundamental analysis also. Okay. So as you can see, what I did, I showed you some interesting features, and we have a lot of other features, but I showed you an important element where we believe with the group analysis, you can be much better off than without that analysis. Okay. Now let's. So we already spent some time, and I think according to my plan, let's see where we are. It's here. Okay, I showed you, you see three signals. I showed you reports. I showed you our screener. And now I'm going to talk only about trend prediction engine. Okay. And I can also touch base on our AI robots a little bit in advance. So with AI robots, the history is as follows. We've created our engines quite some time ago and have been testing. And then people will come into us and say, okay, how would you trade? What are your trades? So what we did, we created AI robots, okay? And they're taking a lot of information. We've not released all of them. As you can see, we have AI robots. And these are the robots which just trade like people. And they're taking information and recording them as if a person made a trade, okay? So what you can do, let me reduce the number of tabs because it's getting busier and the computer kind of having difficulties to read everything. Yeah, you see, these are the robots, okay? So what we do here, we've been trading, this case, 122 days, 93 days. We're trading cryptos, some Forex signals. Then what you see, analyzed return. This is the number of trades per day. And then you can say, okay, 10 trades per day is too many. What you can do, you see open trades 4. It's positive for today, okay? Interesting. That market was down, but with the 4 open trades were positive. We'll go to details, and then you see a lot of statistics, okay? So as you can see, average duration about 12 hours. Average profit much better than average loss. It's half. You see, it's great, right? And then you see in even positive here. And let's look at the close trades, which you can analyze and look at all of them pretty much without registration. As you can see, yesterday, Zoom we're using entered yesterday pretty much end of the day. It's in New York time, and exited today with almost short position, right? Short positions, almost 9% gain today. As you can see, exited today with almost 9% gain. Okay, so you can come and look and then analyze quite a lot of interesting data, and every robot has its own history. We are going to be releasing more robots with the different strategies, including the trend prediction engine, but some of the data is used here. These ones are based on real-time patterns, okay? So real-time patterns is our also premium product. It analyzes patterns, and I think I'm going to do, I think, webcast on that, unless I already made it, about real-time patterns. And this is the patterns which we calculating pretty much every 5 minutes and release them every 5 minutes, okay? So this is about robots, and I'm done with all the introduction. Now let's talk about trend prediction engine, okay? So I'm gonna go here and I will teach you what to do. So we're gonna go trading, trend prediction engine, okay? And now, what you see, where you get instant search, we already seen, right? So you can place here pretty much anything you want, and then you're gonna get some educated result of what the neural network thinks overnight. So at this particular moment, the data is not taken into account the previous day, okay? It's important to understand, because that product is end of day product. End of day. End of day means take the prices on of day and calculate overnight. Intraday patterns, they calculated immediately, but this is the end of day. So in order to find some of the good trends, you go here and first learn how to set up a search criteria. So let's assume you are working with stocks, okay? So you see it's all stocks. If you want to look for the trends only in the particular industries, then you unclick on industries, or you select as either specific ticker lists, okay? You remember I had these stocks in the clipboard. You can plug in here and add, so that means if you add it right here, then the system is going to search in these additional stocks or in these industries and categories, okay? So you save it, and then it's going to be here fewer stocks, and it's going to be calculated how many our engine is looking for you for what type of trends. Next one. So you can do the same thing. If you want to do it for the mutual funds, you do it here, for cryptos, for penny stocks. And this is an advanced search, immediate advanced search, okay? And the difference between advanced search and the daily alerts is that you can set up, and then you're going to get alerts based on what you selected, okay? If you remember, it was radio buttons, and here you can have stocks and ETFs and, let's say, mutual funds, okay? But the setups are going to be the same. Now, let's go back. So next thing, you want to have and look at the minimum confidence level, let's say 60%, okay? The price range, you can have it, let's say, less than between 0 and 60, or whatever you select, okay? And then you looking at either all together. So we know that there are 3 major trends: bullish, sideways, and the bearish. So we're looking at the matrix: bullish, sideways, bearish, and then week, and then month, okay? And the results are in these tabs, okay? Let's assume I want to look at what's happening, let's say, whether or not there's anything, let's say, bearish, right? Because the market went down today. And I will tell you the story of the internet bubble, but please, guys, don't get into this spiral. When internet bubble started bursting in 2000, sometime, if I remember correctly, like sometimes in March of 2000, then people were buying on the dip. So what was happening, the dips were created by big players, and dips were bought by smaller players. So what was happening, the big players were creating a dip, so that means they were taking big profits, and that way they're moving quite a lot of stocks down, right? Then the people like you buying those dips, and then stocks goes a little bit up and the people buying more of those dips, but then big players coming out again. So then what was happening, there is a second dip. And the people saying, okay, I get used years of market moving up only on an internet bubble. Like here, you can take and call it high-tech bubble right now. They were buying the second dip. And it was again up a little bit. And then big players were coming out, taking more profits. And the people were buying the third dip and so on. And then they get to the margin call. Margin call is a really unpleasant thing when you have to put the money even though you lost all your money. And if you buy on a lot of margin, you can get to this buying deep opportunities and get screwed, okay? So you have to be careful and check with the technology whether or not there is any formation of those trends, okay? So as you can see here, I selected only bearish. As you can see, American Airlines still trend on a week down. On this, these are stocks on a month down, okay? So as you can see, if you remember, it's interesting, here's the charts. You remember I showed you that, where is that? You see, this is a trend continued. You see the picture, okay? So let's look at that one, okay? Where is this, where we are? Yeah, oh, shoot, where we are. Oh. Yeah, here. You see, this is a trend continued. Okay, ACB, perhaps it could have gone up today because it's beaten up stock. But if you want to really find a good uptrend, it should be proven uptrend. Even though ACB could be positive today when the market moved down and ACB could have moved up, but it's not proven. It's a trend reversal, but it's not proven one. Okay, so what you do, you analyze and see whether or not you want to buy based on the verification. So how you can let's look at the week again, and there was I think American Airlines, yeah, American Airlines. So in order to find out all information, okay, when you have all the information in one screen, then you can look at that and see what's going on. So it's interesting that it's, even though AI says this, there's a lot of other indicators which we analyze. It says it's kind of beaten up, right? And it actually went up. And it's with all other confirmation. You see other indicators showing up, okay? AI showing some kind of signs of a reversal, right? And you see, that means there is a possibility of a buying, and that's where you can read more. Let's say you don't know enough about the moving indicator. You click here, read more about indicator, and then my advice is to look at all of them. You see fundamental analysis. You see advances versus decliners. Okay, it's kind of picking up a little bit. So here we're looking at this peaks going up, which shows how many more. This is more buyers than sellers. This is more sellers than buyers. You see, it's picking up. Is that a convincing for me trend? I don't think so. I would be careful with airlines right now, even though it's saying buy. But what we can do is to look at the industry, right? So the way you do it, okay, so we kind of look at American Airlines, we're analyzing. Here are different groups. What we do, it's a very sophisticated group. It's highly correlated stocks, okay? Or we can look at the, let me look at airlines industry, 20 stocks, okay? So when you see again this blue, so it means you can click it. Let's look at the industry, airline industry, okay? Click here, and then you see again that trend. One of the way of looking and analyzing that, you can look at the signals, but you can also look at the scorecard. Let's look what's going on overall with the all these tickers, okay? And JetBlue, as you can see, Runaway, Delta Airlines, and all others. Okay, group is buy. Well, it's kind of interesting. So that means entire group was evaluated as a buy, which is kind of maybe showing that you see how many buys. It's interesting. I would be careful, but the technology says it's not a bad idea. I would evaluate it further. You see, it's kind of mixed. And you see, I'm going to look at the scorecard. And then let's assume I want to evaluate that in the screener, the entire group. So when I'm approaching a buy or sell, I'm really analyzing the group for all different perspectives, okay? So what I can do, I can move this one to the screener. Okay, you see, when in other softwares you have to copy paste, and different tools. Here it's just one click. I have all these 20. You see the same 20, and then I can click here also on a scorecard. Okay, and then look at all the stocks. I also can look at the technical analysis. Which shows real interesting fundamental analysis, okay? And you can look, guys, at my presentation of the screener where I explain all of these things which allow us to look at the longer term horizon. This is a typical fundamentals in the screener where you have pretty much everything from the reports, earnings reports. And actually an interesting thing in our screener, you can do the following. This is a stock tickers, you click here and earnings calendar, okay? Let's look how soon they're gonna be reporting. Looks like all of them already reported, and the earliest is gonna be Delta Airlines reporting on October 7th, okay? With one click, you don't need to go to, like I used to, go to Yahoo Finance to find out what's going on. It's your group, you're analyzing that group. And if you like that group, what you can do is to click here, okay? Now you have 20 out of 20, and then you can create a watch list, which you can get it tomorrow, right? And then you click here, and then you can add the new, and then record it. And every time you want to have that list, you can extract it. Or I can click here, clipboard, and just give it to you, okay? So as you can see, we went around, and then from the analysis of the trend predictions, we went and analyzed the entire airline industry with the fact that it is tricky these days with the airlines, okay? So now let's assume you kind of like this search criteria, and now you want to receive daily alerts. Then you click here, okay? And then here you can set up notifications, which you're gonna receive every time something gets to your criteria, okay? So how you do it, you click here. Let's assume you wanna put it 60%. So as soon as there are some stock getting to the 61% or even more, right? You're gonna get an email or push notification, okay? So you can set it up for stocks, ETF, and everything is the same. Let's assume you want to get only alerts related to the week bullish alerts. So you unclick it, okay? So then tomorrow, you're gonna start, so you see saved. So tomorrow you're gonna start receiving alerts. Let me see, on the date of today, so you're gonna be receiving alerts the day after tomorrow, okay? So what else here? Here are the definitions of all the things which we analyze in the trade prediction engine. So you can look at the statistics, okay? So this is how many predictions we've made, and then we calculate how many predictions were correct. So for instance, this is for all different type of confidence level. If we say 60 plus, you see number of predictions is going to be fewer, and this is the number of correct predictions which were made for the entire. If we want to find out how well engine work by category, we can click it here and then select the category. Let's say airline advertising, right? Let's say no data. Okay, punk loans. Oh yeah, so that means it's 60%. If I click here, okay, let's change categories. Yeah, it's all categories. For a reason, it just doesn't give me. I don't want to experiment, but that's a good point I found. Okay, so these are all the statistics you can find, and then if you want to analyze how it was predicted in the bearish, it's here. Okay. So I have a few minutes left. Please ask me any questions pretty much on anything, including AI robots or screener or trend prediction engines, which we covered. What I didn't cover today is pattern search engine, so how we find patterns. You see, we finding pattern types, all kinds of patterns. We give a confidence levels and also give you all the statistics of finding these patterns. And I also didn't cover today what relates to trading is the real-time patterns. Okay, this is a feed which we give on the different time frames. You see a little finding the patterns gives a entry point, exit points. So based on this particular tool, we build our robots. Okay, and yeah, you see. This is the tool which is going to be presented actually next time. Okay, let's talk about AI and its service. Yeah. Yeah, we have several different neural networks. Okay, and then you can subscribe to them differently. And what you can do is to look here in the premium channels, right? You can AI robots. It gives you the real trades. What is good about that one is if you buy one robot, you get $60 credit, and you can pick up other engines to verify your trades. Okay, so this neural network finding patterns, this neural networks finding trends end of day. This is a screener, also premium product, and real-time patterns right here for Forex, stocks, and cryptos. So how to talk about AI? AI is quite a sophisticated tool, requires quite a lot of calculations, and then it is interesting that it requires quite a lot of computing power and a really good presentation. Okay. Any other questions, guys? No? Okay, so if you don't have any questions, then I will stop sharing so you can get this presentation tomorrow, maybe like 24 hours takes typically to put it back on the website, and then you're going to be able to view that if you're interested in these details. Okay, so good luck. We'll see what this is going to bring us tomorrow, whether or not it's serious dip or it's serious correction. It's going to be bounce, and we will see how far down people are prepared. And I will tell you the main thing is how many people are loaded with the margins. That's where the bursting of bubble starts. And big players are testing that. They find in the data how many people like you on the margin, and then burst the bubble. And then people who on the margin keep selling, keep selling, keep selling, and then they are taking the profits. Okay. So let's see what's going to happen tomorrow in the marketplace. Thank you and goodbye.